Buff Nation!
Let's go! Here we are.
Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. That was eventful. We got through it, though.
Do we have video yet?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, we're good?
Okay, we can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's for a reason. You guys don't look that great.
Okay.
We're presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour, 36 p.m. every single day. My name is Jake Schwanitz. Joining me, RK. What's up?
Not much. Nothing like a little technical difficulty.
Yeah.
To get us going here.
It is what it is. But I was saying,
I guess we went a little earlier than we should have, right?
I think so.
And if you do that, then you should hit up Roman.
There you go. Speaking of Roman, are we doing the ad reads already?
No,
we are all out of shape here.
I was just fresh on the mind. I had to let it fly.
We'll talk about Roman in just a bit, I promise. But we have a kind of an off-season-ish pod today. We do have a recruit to talk about. That is Brandon Davis-Swain, who put out a top 11 yesterday. We'll watch his tape. We will talk about Andy Ludwig. I saw you guys in the chat asking about him. And then we'll talk about who's overrated and underrated in the Pac-12. But we start with Brandon Davis-Swain. Go ahead and throw up that tweet, Alyssa.
All right.
Well, Brandon Davis-Swain, 4-star defensive lineman from West Bloomfield, Michigan, 6'4", 240. Put out his top 11 yesterday. And there you can see it. Purdue, Penn State, Michigan, CU, Pitt, Tennessee, Auburn, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Kentucky, and USC.
That is a very diverse group of schools.
Yep.
Got multiple conferences, multiple areas of the country, multiple levels of competition, I guess I would say,
Yeah,
like how
for
good
sure.
they are.
For sure. Purdue is not like the others, I'd say.
Hey, Ryan Walters.
Made a Big Ten championship game, though.
Yep. And I actually think Ryan Walters is going to do a great job there. He was kind of I liked him as a candidate, but it was it's crazy thinking back now. That sounds so underwhelming.
I know.
I actually think he's going to do a great job at Purdue.
I think so, too. Purdue under Jeff Brom is actually really kind of coming up. But anyways, he is from Michigan, so that explains probably why a lot of those schools in Big Ten country are in there. Top 100 player, and when we were texting about this yesterday, I told you Coach Prime is coming for every top defensive lineman and offensive lineman in this class.
And I texted you this photo, and I said, how is this a kid?
Yeah.
That looks like a grown-ass man in every sense of the word.
Mm-hmm. His 247 picture looks a lot less menacing.
All right, there we go.
Yeah,
that looks like a high school kid.
Yes.
That looks like a 10-year NFL vet.
I know. Yep.
Beast. Should we watch him?
Let's watch some film then. Let's break it down.
Oh, his film has like a title, the trilogy.
Wow. He's billing it up. I'll pull up some stats while we wait.
6'4", 250.
Oh, we got a two-way player again,
Yes.
Ryan.
What do they have him at, tight end?
That's what it just said, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he's throwing out all the stats
Wow,
here.
third all-time sack leader in the state. All right.
Coming all the way around to make the tackle for a loss. We're being told to wait here.
I didn't see it.
Oh, we're being told to wait again.
Wait for it, they say. We got to work
here?
on the stability on the camera here.
Yeah. Here we go. Tight end. What a beast.
Here we go. This is better. Wait for it every time.
I don't think that's something you want to say if you're a defensive lineman.
Uh-oh. Bad camera angle for the... Okay, we got it.
He doesn't look nearly as big as that.
No, that photo makes him look like a freak. Great closing speed, though.
He does. He's an
He's got
athlete.
a lot of backside pursuit plays.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's just
my
too
God.
easy.
Did he catch that? Oh, I thought he caught that for a second.
Yeah.
That's insane. Dude has hops.
He gets up, man.
He's got to play basketball, too.
So he had a quote after he visited, I believe he visited for junior day. He was asked by Chad Simmons of On3 about his visit to Colorado. And he said, it's for sure going to make one of my top schools, which they did. But he said, we're for sure going to go back and visit again. He's very interested.
Let's go.
He also quote tweeted that quote graphic from On3 with just the eyeballs emoji.
Okay. All right.
And looking through, other than the top 11 posts, I haven't seen a lot of love from the other schools from Brandon Davis-Swain.
Everyone knows my take that there are 3 keys to being great. 1, your talent.
Mm-hmm.
2, your name. 3, your number.
Yep.
He's got hyphenated names.
Mm-hmm.
Always great. Also, number 11. That's why he gave out a top 11. It's all making sense now.
There you go. Now we understand.
Yes. So he checks off all 3 boxes. Talented, great name, great number.
Is he like playing safety here? Oh, no, he's blocking downfield. I was like, why is he so far back?
Oh, wow. Just dumped that dude.
Lawrence says Donovan Edwards went to the same high school as Davis-Swain.
Oh.
I know Edwards went to Derby in Kansas.
No, he's talking about Donovan Edwards.
Donovan
from
Edwards.
Michigan.
Oh, from Michigan, my guy. Okay.
Yep. All right. Is that enough BDS for us?
Yep.
Jeez, man.
How do we feel about our guy now?
Impressive.
Yeah.
I got to be kind of honest about this. I don't know if that tape does him justice.
Right.
And I just mean like in terms of his ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these other guys that we've seen are just blowing up every single play. That doesn't mean like, I don't know. I think maybe there's a little bit of projecting going on with him in terms of his athleticism, because his athleticism is insane.
Right.
And his body type.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of he can definitely add weight to that frame.
Yep.
And at that level of athleticism, you can see how he could turn into just an absolute beast. But I was surprised that he didn't look bigger, I guess, on tape.
Yeah, I could see that. With that, I think he looks more like an edge than a defensive lineman, at least right now.
Yes. Definitely in that tape.
Mm-hmm. Tight end at all?
Why not? Speaking of tight end, someone in the comments just wrote up there, and it was Tyler L., I think, said, I can't believe you guys don't talk more about Seydou Traore. He's the big receiver that you keep talking about. And that's, I guess, true in a sense.
Yeah.
But I actually much prefer him at tight end because that's where you get the mismatch nightmares. Right. So we love him as a tight end.
For sure.
I mean, we were talking about him nonstop as a target for the Buffs when we were, when he was on the transfer market. So we're big Traore guys. I guess the reason why you want that big receiver is because then if a team has a bigger corner and they want to put him on Traore, well, they're not going to be able to do that if you have a 6'5" receiver on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's all about having more weapons to pull mismatches from. And Sean Lewis does a great job of getting the ball out to guys in space. We've talked about that a lot. But also finding a mismatch and exploiting it. And so Traore is awesome. And he's going to bring a different element to the offense than, the guy we were talking about yesterday from Mississippi State.
Yeah, I already forgot.
Yeah, there's too many names. But 6'5", 200 pounds, 8 touchdown catches. Like, when you have Mekhi Blackman lined up outside, who, to his credit, good player. I think he's going to the draft.
He's going to the draft, yeah.
For example, just a small corner, there's nothing you can do in certain scenarios, especially with the pinpoint accuracy that Shedeur has. It's just like, okay, well, you want to stay over the top? Well, he's just going to throw back shoulder, and they're going to have this massive catch radius that he can hit. Well, you want to press and play man? Well, he's just going to throw them up a jump ball, and they're going to moss you.
Right.
So, again, Traore has all of that in a tight end's body. You'd like to have it as a wide receiver as well.
to that point, I mean, Sean Lewis does do a good job of moving the tight end around. He'll split him out wide, like single wide and stuff, put him in the slot. So I'm sure we'll see, like, Zico, I guess. Are you a Zico or do you say Sato?
I like Zico.
Zico? So we're a Zico podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So Zico can have an impact, like, all over the field, I think.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as you said, I mean, adding more size and another just, like, red zone target, like, more is better.
Yeah. And you're going to, especially in college, the way you rotate wide receivers, you just want everything. Because, like, I think they could add more speed to that position.
For sure.
You know, Jimmy Horn's obviously a burner, but after that, you know, Jordan Tyson, if he gets healthy, can burn. Like, I want 4-4-3 guys. I also want 4-6-5 guys.
Yeah.
You know, just rotate them in depending on what kind of defense, what kind of look you're getting from the defense. Force the defense to change your personnel, make them change again, and just keep exploiting what they don't have.
For sure. Let's move on. You can go ahead and throw up that spring game tweet, Alyssa. If you guys haven't already, make sure you get on the spring game tickets. I believe we're about half sold, is what Bucky said on Well Off yesterday, or half sold out for the spring game.
Okay. Cool.
So they're
half sold out for 53-ish thousand.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And he was teasing it too. He's saying they're going to have a surprise.
Yes, it sounded like what we were talking about yesterday, which was completely. I didn't have any scoop on that. I was just like, are they going to have a performance? And that kind of made it seem like that might be what it is.
Right. Here's the prime effect kind of put into perspective again. This is from CU Barstool. And the picture on the left is from last year. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. You may want to click on the photo on the left, Alyssa. But that is the post for last year's spring game. 1,460 likes.
That is not a lot.
No, not even in like a non-prime like era. Like,
I'm just thinking like I don't use Instagram hardly at all. Like I can get 200 likes on a post.
Right.
I think I have. That's 7 times that for an account that probably has at that time, I don't know, a couple 100,000 followers. I think I have like 1,000.
Yeah.
That's bad. The engagement rate on that is bad.
Well, this year.
And they were bad.
Well, this year, maybe it's a sign of things to come. A lot different. 18,000. What is that? Like
15% at least, or 15x.
Yeah. Just tremendous amount of difference between last year and this year.
In the comments and everything and just the energy around it. And it's actually wild. I mean, they haven't done, like, they've won on the recruiting trail. They haven't done anything yet. And just from the aura that Coach Prime brings, they've been able to at least 15x the response to the spring game.
Right.
Imagine when they win a game and the interaction that they're going to get. Or, just they're competing for a Pac-12 championship berth, the interaction they're going to get. The engagement is just out of this world.
It's insane. The prime effect is real. Let's talk about something a little less pleasant. The Notre Dame offensive coordinator position.
Okay.
So we talked about this yesterday. We caught you up. We had the list of candidates. In that list was Andy Ludwig, who is the offensive coordinator at Utah. It's not happening, though. It seemed like he was going to be the favorite for this Notre Dame gig. Pete Thamel tweeted out yesterday, according to sources, Utah offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig is staying at Utah. His buyout proved an obstacle in discussions with Notre Dame. Are we cranking up the panic meter at all?
Well, first of all, Notre Dame, why are you so broke? Second of all, I hope the Buffs have a good buyout on Sean Lewis. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if that was their top candidate and they weren't willing to pay whatever it is, Sean Lewis, his buyout would never be higher than it is right now.
Right.
If they had one in his contract. I have no idea what the details of his contract are. Mm-hmm. There's probably some buyout, but if they put a big buyout on it, the way these things work is each year it goes down, right? I think if someone were to try to hire Coach Prime right now, they'd have to pay Colorado $15 million. And then after next season, it goes down to 10, and then I think down to 8 or something after the year after that. So right now, the buyout on Sean Lewis would never be higher than it could, it would be before. So hopefully that if they're not willing to pay it for Ludwig, why would they be willing to pay it for Sean Lewis, especially if he wasn't their number one obstacle? The second part of this is yes. I wish they just hired Ludwig and we could just move on and say, all right, we're safe. But since we aren't, then we have to worry about it.
It would have been best case scenario because obviously Utah would have taken a hit too.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not pressing panic yet, but we're still monitoring this situation.
Man, I just have such a hard time imagining someone doing this to Coach Prime.
I know.
Like, of all people, I have a hard time imagining that happening. It just doesn't, like, when you make this move to come to Colorado, you did it with one person in mind. Two people in mind, actually. Deion and Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
That is why you made this move. Obviously, I think he probably saw that Kent State was going to put like a bit of a glass ceiling on his career unless he had, insane success there, which was just unrealistic.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, well, we're only getting worse since we lost that quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Dustin Crum.
Yep. I'm having a hard time replacing him.
Mm-hmm.
I could go work with one of the best quarterbacks in the country and Coach Prime. And my career will take off from there.
For sure.
I think to turn right around and take another job seems super odd, and just I could see it happening to some coaches. I just can't see someone doing that to Coach Prime. It just seems like a bad idea.
Well, maybe this time next year, but not this year. But when the era is 2 months in, we haven't even played a game. We haven't even done spring practices yet. It just doesn't make sense why he would leave. Let's shift over to the S&P Plus index from Bill Connelly of ESPN. Kind of ranks all FBS teams 1 to 133 or whatever it is. Do you want to guess who's at the bottom? It was CU a lot last year.
Who's last in S&P?
Mm-hmm.
Colorado State.
No. It's actually Kent State.
Oh, that's another reason why.
Yeah.
He wanted to bail from a sinking ship.
So S&P, for those that don't know, I'll just read this from the article. It's a tempo and opponent-adjusted measure of college football efficiency. It is a predictive measure of the most sustainable and predictable aspects of football, not a resume ranking. So he's not trying to project the AP top 25 or like...
But say that first part again about what goes into it.
So what the three factors: returning production, recent recruiting, recent history. But it is a tempo and opponent-adjusted measure of college football efficiency. So it's like kind of like EPA for the NFL.
So before we even talk about the Buffs ranking, I just have to say they shouldn't even be included in this.
Right.
There's just no way to use those metrics to predict what Colorado is going to be this year.
Yep.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
There's no returning production. Mm-hmm. There is no recent success. And what was the other one?
Recruiting, recent recruiting.
Okay, and recruiting, there's a little bit, if you include this year,
they
there's...
all left via the portal already, though.
Right, true. So they should have just said NA next to Colorado because there's literally nothing to evaluate here. So I'm not even going to get mad about the ranking because what goes into the ranking automatically tells you that Colorado cannot be judged by this ranking.
So they're 94th. They spent a lot of last year down in the 120s, 130s, if not the damn near bottom.
Yeah, and I mean the only thing that could have changed that is recent recruiting, right? They did well in recruiting, and that's going to bring them out of the cellar. But again, recent success and returning production is something that they have literally zero of.
So interestingly enough, for Colorado, they're rated the 75th overall offense, which they had one of the worst offenses in the country last year. So maybe they are kind of starting to factor in some stuff.
Yep.
But as you said, like, who knows at this point? Like, we just don't know.
Yeah, it's an impossible way to judge Colorado. Any other notable rankings here?
Nebraska, 48.
Okay.
That is ahead of teams like Purdue, like Houston, SMU, Cal at 58, which is crazy to me.
Yep.
Colorado State, 119.
Yikes.
Yep. USC, 10.
Okay.
I think that is... Okay, so no, the highest Pac-12 school is actually 8. That is Oregon. You have USC at 10. You have Utah at 13. Washington at 16. TCU's at 19.
I'm kind of confused what the goal of this metric is.
It's I used it a little bit last year just to kind of gauge like overall team, like not like power rating like he said, but it's kind of like it's efficiency. It's just kind of how good are you on a down to down basis, basically. Like
but that only makes sense when there's games being played.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point.
I'm not trying to hate. It's just
No,
it literally applies to Colorado in no way, shape, or form right now.
I mean, they're one of the schools for sure that they're just a complete wild card, and you can't really guess what they're going to be going into this year.
For sure.
All right, Ryan, it's time. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thanks, Jake.
Of course. For those of you out there who need help in the bedroom, hit up Roman. Roman is here to help. They are a digital health clinic for men addressing a variety of sexual health needs and offering genuine medication that helps achieve and maintain a strong erection. No waiting rooms, no hassle, straightforward digital experience from the comfort of your home. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/DNVR to get 20% off your entire order. That's ro.co/DNVR. Shout out to Roman. And also shout out to Breckenridge Brewery. We've got the delicious Avalanche Amber Ale in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
Breckenridge Brewery is just my favorite. You can go to their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com to find out where you can get a Breck brew, or you can just come down to the DNVR bar where we have beers on tap, all kinds of stuff in cans. The Mile High City Golden Ale is still here. Do they have anything new coming out? No.
They've always got new stuff coming out.
We're still being told about the Christmas sale.
Lauren says, read that Roman read like you mean it, Jake.
I did mean that. Anyway, shut up, Breckenridge Brewery. We love our guys over there. Head over to breckbrew.com, use their beer locator. Let's do an off-season segment.
All right, let's do it. Let's get to 150 likes by the end of this segment.
There we go. Double it up a bit.
Wayne says Roman should use a picture of No Hat Jake on the box.
Oh, my God.
Be like No Hat Jake.
I'd rather not. Well, I'm just not going to say that. Never mind. Nope. Let's play overrated, underrated.
Are your cheeks red for Valentine's Day?
Let's just move on. Let's play overrated, underrated. We've got some pretty prominent Pac-12 figures in here, players, coaches. We got it all.
Okay.
Throw the first one up, Alyssa. Let's get started.
Overrated, underrated. Maybe properly rated.
Could be.
It's an option.
But this one is pretty polarizing.
I think we're going to disagree here.
Yeah? Bo Nix.
And I want to hear your side.
All right, let's hear your take first, though.
I think he's underrated.
Really?
And the reason why I think Bo Nix is underrated is because he got such a bad rap at Auburn. Essentially, he just got labeled a bust. He's trash because he wasn't good enough to, dominate the SEC, I guess. And because of that, he just got written off and thrown aside. Well, he ends up at Oregon, and he was actually pretty damn good. So I think he is underrated because people form takes that they just don't really ever want to change. Mm-hmm. And so people just think Bo Nix is trash.
A year ago, I would have said overrated for sure.
Oh.
But I'm going to say properly rated.
Okay.
I think that they pretty much know what Bo Nix is. He's kind of a system quarterback. He's going to run around, make plays. He's going to have some boneheaded decisions every now and then. But he's not, I think, what we saw Auburn as a player. Right. He's closer to what we're seeing right now at Oregon.
I think he wasn't ready for all that at Auburn.
What has Auburn done after Nix? Last year was a train wreck too.
Yep.
So I think that helped his case.
Also dumb for not hiring Coach Prime.
Yes, of course. But also, he went back this year for a reason.
Right.
If he was overrated and seen as a top 50, top 100 draft pick, he would have declared. But I think he knows what he is. I think the draft community knows what he is. I think the NFL knows what he is. So properly rated.
Just go ball. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that maybe it depends on who you talk to.
It's true.
Because there are probably some Oregon fans who overrate him. And there's definitely some Auburn fans who underrate him.
For sure. credit to him, man. He played really well last year. He did change my opinion a bit on him because I was a straight up hater.
Yeah, you were.
The Georgia game was rough. I mean, it was Georgia.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen, or last year at least.
All right.
Next one. Lincoln Riley.
Oh, this
Let's
is so
hear it,
hard.
Ryan.
This is so hard.
Come on, just let it out.
I think he's slightly overrated.
Okay.
Slightly overrated. You can't I'm not gonna sit here and just bullshit and knock the quarterback success.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically turned every quarterback he touched to gold.
Yep.
And because of that, he gets treated like a god.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the high level success?
That's true.
Where is the playoff wins and or national championships? They don't exist. And I realize that's a really high bar to set, but he's being mentioned alongside all of those coaches who have that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no one's being mentioned alongside maybe Nick Saban, but he's being mentioned as one of the best coaches in college football. They choked away their chance to go this year. They were never able to get over the hump at Oklahoma. So just slightly overrated. I'm not trying to, be a hater here.
Okay.
He's just not quite that guy.
I think he's properly rated. If anything, I think he's slightly underrated. I think that a lot of people look at Caleb Williams and they go, well, he's so great. Like, it's easy. Like, of course, everyone wants to go play with him. Look at how he transformed USC's roster last year with the portal. And also, I think if he just swallowed his pride and just got rid of Alex Grinch and actually tried to build a true defense, his teams would be better.
That's an L on his part, though.
It is, but people hold it against him. He's not a defensive coach.
You're the head coach. You're in charge of putting the people in place to make those decisions.
But I get it. But if you do have a better defensive coordinator, I think these teams are a lot better.
Yeah, but that's on him.
It is on him.
That's the thing. Is offensive mind. He's properly rated, if not,
Right.
You can't. He's rated the highest you can be as a college football offensive mind. As a head coach, he hasn't gotten that done yet. I don't know.
This is why I lean into underrated, though. Everyone's saying overrated in the chat. I don't think he's overrated, though.
What I will just continue to say is the quarterback thing. He is clearly a quarterback whisperer.
Yes,
and it's why. We debate this on the Broncos podcast. Is Jalen Hurts in Alabama or an Oklahoma guy? And I truly believe Jalen Hurts is not the dude he is right now without that year under Lincoln Riley.
100%.
So for me, I'm he's an Oklahoma guy. And, Pat Surtain was on our show last week and said, no, he's an Alabama guy. And
yeah.
Even Jalen, wants to claim Alabama, I think, because it's cooler than Oklahoma. But I think that Oklahoma had more impact on him becoming a great NFL quarterback than anything else. And that is credit to Lincoln Riley.
I think we haven't seen the best of Lincoln Riley yet, too. He's so young.
We'll be better.
Well, USC better hope too.
2 houses in Malibu and all that money, you better at least make a playoff.
It's 12 teams coming, man.
Yep.
They are in the Big Ten, though.
Yeah,
so
then they're going to be in the Big Ten. They're going to have to play, a different brand of football over there.
Lawrence asking me, what has he won? I mean, he has gone to playoffs.
Yes.
This team was penciled in as the Pac-12 favorite for the playoff until Caleb kind of got hurt down the stretch.
So he's had 3 Heisman winners.
Yes.
0 playoff wins.
Hasn't been in the SEC, though. I mean, not many people outside of the SEC have been winning playoff games.
I know. TCU did it.
That's true. Can we not? Rather not.
What?
I don't want to talk about the TCU game. I've kind of deleted that from my memory.
Okay. All right.
Good conversation. Next one.
Oh, I always forget your little Michigan thing.
Yeah. Caleb Williams, where you at?
All right. This is 100% Henry Chisholm's fault.
Oh, no.
So you're going to have to tag him.
Ryan.
He's overrated in this office.
Jesus.
He's overrated in this office. Because Henry literally said, and he'll take this back now, he said he would take Caleb Williams over Patrick Mahomes. So now that's in my head. I'm like, someone said that out loud. He's overrated. And it's all Henry's fault.
Damn it, Henry. Now I'm going to have to argue why Caleb Williams is underrated.
I mean, look, deserving Heisman winner, great player. But people keep throwing generational out on him. And I'm just like, I'm not willing to do that. That's too high for me. By the way, I stand firm by this take. You only get one generational guy. You don't get to keep saying that this guy's a generational prospect because the whole idea of generational is once in a generation.
Yep, I agree with that take for sure. We need a different word because it's used too much.
Like Andrew Luck, generational. We said Trevor Lawrence was generational. Mm-hmm. Those are like almost too close together.
Right.
But I'll allow it because they're two different essentially generations of football. If Trevor Lawrence is generational, then we don't get to use it. We don't get to use it on Caleb Williams.
Okay,
though.
Fine. Still, he is going to be the best quarterback to come out since Trevor Lawrence. He is.
Okay.
There's a reason why he's comped to Patrick Mahomes. He is tremendous.
He is.
And I heard a lot of it last year, like, oh, this is the guy who's going to be the number 1 overall pick a year from now. It's like, please watch him for like a quarter. Like
arm talent off the charts.
He's amazing.
Scrambling, actually very similar to Patrick Mahomes in that regard. Maybe even a little faster.
Yes.
So I get it. But Henry said he'd take him over Patrick Mahomes, so now he's overrated to me.
Damn it, Henry. Last year, if Caleb Williams doesn't get hurt, USC is going to make the playoff, and things are a lot different too.
It's possible. Patrick Mahomes got hurt and still did it. I can't believe Henry's making me say nice things about Patrick Mahomes. Damn you, Henry.
Let's move on to the next guy then. Jaden DeLora.
That's my guy. Of course he's underrated. He's so electric.
He is.
But this is a thing that happens where like a guy has no NFL prospects. Mm-hmm. It's too small.
Right.
I mean, Kyler obviously transcends that. A couple guys can transcend that size thing. But everyone just like kind of tosses him aside. One of my favorite things is a great college football player who isn't cut out for the NFL. Like, I always wish for that guy that, I wish he could go dominate at the next level.
Right.
But I just love watching these guys. I'm just like, you're made for college football. Tim Tebow's like the most perfect example of this, right? Just a guy who dominates that style of game and maybe might not have the precision or whatever it takes. And so he's like a lower level of that. I put him in like that Jake Hayner style of just like undersized QB, electric, does things that blow your mind every week. I don't think anyone rates him anything at all. So to me, he's underrated because I rate him as a dope college quarterback.
I agree. I think if I had to pick a side to be underrated, the highs are high, the lows are low, though. And there are some games last year where he was like 3 or 4 interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I mean, he's the definition of a gunslinger.
It's so great to watch.
He's a lot of fun to watch. He's one of our favorites.
I never would have thought I would be watching like Arizona games every week, and I was like, oh, JDL, let me throw a little money on like plus 360 money line and cheer for him to do something crazy.
They're going to be fun again this year. They lost Dorian Singer, but
and one other guy.
Well, they still have Cowing, and they still have.
So Cowing went back. Did he?
I think
enter
so.
The transfer? Okay,
I think so. And then they have Teteroa McMillan. If you don't know who that is, was a 4-star freshman last year, who was
people are asking
legit
in the comments who we're talking about. So that shows you he's underrated.
There you go.
He is the quarterback at Arizona.
There you go. Brush up on JDL. He's
just fun to watch. Yeah, that's all. That's all you can ask for.
Next player or person. Animal, potentially. Chip Kelly. Where are we at with Chip right now? He's on a bit of a upswing after maybe disappointing when he first got to UCLA, but the work he did with DTR and
I need to know like what he's rated right now to know if he's overrated or underrated. He's certainly overrated all time based off of his success at Oregon, and he hasn't been able to do anything notable since then. So if we're still grading him up against putting Oregon on the map, essentially, then he's overrated on that regard. But I think he might be properly rated right now based on the fact that no one really talks about him in that way anymore.
Yeah.
He certainly benefited this last season from a 74th year senior quarterback in DTR. Is he coming back again?
No, he's in the draft.
Thank God. Charbonnet.
He's in the draft.
Was, there
he's
for a while.
Fucking dog.
It's, when Colorado had the rise, why did they do it? fifth-year senior quarterback, a whole secondary of seniors with like one, I think, notable junior, defensive and offensive linemen with tons of experience. You can catch lightning in a bottle in college football with just a big, really good, experienced team. And I think that's what UCLA did last year. They've been able to have success in the recruiting trail. That happens at UCLA all the time.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens with for them without DTR and Charbonnet.
A lot of people putting hype on Dante Moore, the 5-star quarterback they got in this year's class. And it's between him and Schlee.
It's gonna be him.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I think that Chip has been knocked down a peg. I don't think anyone's calling him arguably the best coach in the Pac-12. Do you?
No. He's only 27 and 29 at UCLA.
Yikes.
You have to factor in the COVID year though. They only went 3-4 that season, 7 games played, but it's a complete palindrome though. The first 2 years awful. You have the technically just below 500 COVID year, and then the last 2 years 8-4 and 9-4.
Yeah.
I think he's properly rated. I think, if anything, a little underrated. The stuff he does on offense is still pretty far ahead of a lot of people. I mean, we saw it in the Buffs game. It was a clear discrepancy between the caliber of offensive coaching at UCLA and the caliber of defensive coaching at Colorado in that game for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy to me thinking back that he got a second chance in the NFL. You remember the Eagles, it blew up in his face. He tore down the team and didn't replace any of the good players. Eagles fans can't stand the guy. And then he got another chance with the Niners.
That was such a weird thing, though. They fired him right after.
I know.
And they had Blaine Gabbert and Colin Kaepernick at quarterback.
Yeah, it was wild. So someone said he's overrated in the NFL. I don't even think that's possible. He's rated 0.
Yeah.
But I think he's properly rated now. He's just considered like a solid offensive mind.
I agree. Swear Sports coming with the Dante Moore hype. We'll see.
I'm sure he's insane on tape.
We'll see it.
Yeah.
I believe he'll start. Lawrence says he went to a few of Dante Moore's high school football games. Legit also.
I mean, 5-star quarterback's gonna look insane in high school.
Yeah, that's true. Next person.
I like the way these slide in.
Ooh, Ryan. Let's get some hot takes thrown around. Kenny Dillingham.
Extremely overrated. Extremely overrated. There is a lot of hype being thrown around his name. Arizona State fans are like falling all over themselves for this guy. And what has he done?
He coached an offense at Oregon that was decent.
Yeah,
that's about
exactly. He's brought in a nice transfer class, which I'm not going to knock that. We know how important a transfer class is when you're building something up. But I talked about it yesterday. 0 head coach vibes. I have a hard time imagining him being a great head coach. So there's a lot of hype around that hire. Certainly not as much as the hype around our hire. And I think that's for good reason. But I think there's too much hype around Kenny Dillingham, especially coming out of Phoenix and Tempe down there. So I'm going hella overrated.
I'm going to go overrated too. It's, what you said. What have you done? The resume is impressive in terms of places he's been. I don't know if it's impressive in terms of results. And also, I go back to, I don't want to say his name, but when we met with someone at CU last year, and we talked about Oregon and Kenny Dillingham, we were told he's not the offensive mastermind a lot of people make him out to be.
He's not that guy.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Mm-hmm. So overrated.
Oh, dude. His vibes are bad. Like,
yeah?
I just got big time, imposter syndrome.
Oh, no.
From being around him. Like, that's what I felt. I felt like he was, like, trying to be a coach. And to be fair to him, like, he's so young.
He's very young.
I just don't know if he's built for it yet.
Only going to be 33 once the season starts.
Which, like, you got to give him credit for rising the ranks that fast. Very rarely does that actually pan out, though. I'm just thinking of really young hires. So And this is NFL stuff that's coming to my mind immediately, but like Josh McDaniels, he was like the youngest coach hired when he was hired for the Broncos. That fell apart. Joe Brady was made the offensive coordinator of the Panthers when he was 30 years old.
Right.
Didn't work out for him. I still think he's got a career ahead of him, but
hell yeah.
Too much too soon. You know what I mean? Sean McVay is obviously the outlier here,
right?
Who goes in youngest head coach in NFL history and is fantastic. But I think there is sometimes you can rise up the ranks too quickly.
Yep.
And being a head coach, man, that is a lot. I don't know if he's ready.
I mean, he's from Arizona, went to Arizona State. I mean, I'm sure other schools were interested, but he went right back to his alma mater. It wasn't exactly a tough place to go for him or a tough hire for ASU.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We shall see.
Next one.
A lot of chatter coming from down in Tempe.
There is from a certain group of people.
Yeah.
San Diego State, overrated or underrated?
Properly rated.
Okay.
They are who we think they are.
Yeah.
They are a solid school in the Mountain West with a good basketball program and an average football program for those standards. Great weather. That's what they are.
I'm going to say a little overrated.
Okay.
If they weren't San Diego, I know it's who they are, but if it wasn't because of the location they're in, they're not getting absolutely the amount of interest.
Okay, that's fair. If you flip New Mexico, if you put San Diego State in New Mexico,
right,
no one gives a shit about
we're not
that.
going crazy to try and get them in the pack.
But there's also a reason for that. The TV market matters.
Exactly.
And, San Diego, all they have left is the Padres, so I'm sure they have eyeballs. New stadium.
Yep.
There's things that matter. Like, the location does matter.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
But in terms of, the actual program, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've heard great things about it as a party school.
I have too.
Never got my chance.
I went there once for a party.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It was a pretty eventful weekend.
That's what I would have to say about ASU as well.
I met a guy who drank so much he built what he called a beer staff, and he was walking around calling himself Gandalf.
I've seen that before. I can definitely one up that at ASU.
Oh yeah.
Edward 40 Hands.
Yes.
I saw two girls team up to do Edward Captain Hands.
Oh no.
They each taped one hand to a handle of Captain.
Why?
I don't know, but they did work on that handle of Captain, and it was a whole mess.
People are different down there in Arizona. Brady Hoke is still the coach.
The sun
at
gets to their heads, I think.
Yeah. I guess when there's not much to do during the day, when it's 1 billion degrees outside, you just drink.
Got to drink something.
Yeah. Next one. I believe it's SMU. Overrated, underrated.
Maybe a little bit overrated. I think they still get a little bit of college football old heads remember the old SMU, and I think because of that they just remain relevant.
Yeah.
They haven't really done anything to be relevant in a long time.
Yep. I think for that reason they're slightly underrated. The death penalty stuff absolutely killed the program. This was
called the death penalty.
This was one of the best college football programs at a point in time. There's still a brand that carries some
Do they give
cachet.
you any Sleeping Giant vibes?
No, but I like them more than SDSU in terms of the quality of football program and just what you'd get as an addition. So
fair enough. Talking about Edward Captain Hands. I would be. Someone said, "I bet it's a Lil Wayne concert for the spring game." I would be hype about that.
That would be insane. Do you think he goes to that level?
Why not? Make if you're gonna make something a thing, you gotta make it a thing.
That's true.
I remember this is a different alley, but same weekend. CU tried to CU used to have the most insane 420 thing ever, right? You've seen pictures of it. There's thousands of people on the quad smoking weed. People would come from all over the country. CU was all right, we don't really like this. There's just way too many randos coming on campus, so we're shutting this down. They tried to make a thing by having a concert. And they were we'll have God, I can't remember who it was, like Wiz Khalifa or something, play a concert at the, but like it didn't become a thing, you know, because they just like, they're like, look, we have this shiny thing instead of, this cool thing that everyone used to do. If you're going to like try to go all in, make the spring game an event that people talk about like they are right now next year.
Right.
Go big.
It's a good point. Yeah, the best way to get people to talk about next year's spring game is to have a baller spring game this spring.
Exactly.
So, I like that.
And you have so much hype that, like, if you live up to it, people will never forget.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. We still have a few more, and then we'll get to questions real quick. Puddles the Duck, last one, actually. Overrated or underrated? Let's hear it.
So absurdly overrated. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
There's nothing unique or special about this mascot.
Nope.
And yet, like, especially Oregon fans act like it's something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no not live mascot that can impress me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not just like a regular, like, there's basically no difference between Puddles the Duck and Dinger, the Rockies right. mascot.
Yeah.
It's just one's a duck and one's a dinosaur. Yeah. Like, maybe it's just because, maybe this is just like Ralphie, like we have Ralphie.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here fawning over a duck, a fake duck.
If it didn't look like a certain Disney character, we would absolutely, Puddles would have no hype. But
Puddles deserves no hype.
He doesn't deserve any hype. It's weird too. Kids like love him. Like, not like kids, but like when I was growing up, like everyone was like, "Oh, I love Oregon, love the mascot and all." It's like a duck?
Yeah. That's weird.
We can do so much better than a duck for a mascot.
Well, I mean, I get that their mascot has to be a duck, but there's nothing special or impressive about it.
No, but I mean, what are you going to do? Get a cage of live ducks?
That'd be cooler.
A pond that you can like bring around wherever
you have a
go.
kiddie pool that's on
a tank.
Kiddie pool on wheels. The ducks fly and land on it.
That'd be cooler than Puddles.
It would.
Yeah, Puddles. Sorry, man.
Weak ass mascot.
We'll get to your guys' questions very shortly. But first, a word from our friends over at Illegal Pete's. When's the last time you had Illegal Pete's?
We had a meetup in Arizona at Illegal Pete's, so
right.
Almost a whole week ago.
Yep, I'm on a bit of a drought myself.
I need my fix.
If you guys need your Illegal Pete fix, also they've got 10 Colorado locations, 2 in Arizona. Also, great menu selection if you're on a diet, and just some amazing food. Shout out to Illegal Pete's. Check out their happy hours, 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. And then also shout out to our friends over at Bacchus and Schenker. If you were hurt by a mascot or the Puddles the Duck, potentially, hit up Bacchus and Schenker. They can help get you on the right track. Best part about them, no fees to speak with them about your case, no fees while they work on your case, and no fees unless they win money for you and win your case. Call them at 222-2222 for all your needs related to car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks, or if you're injured at work. Bacchus and Schenker wins. All right.
Jeff said Ralphie and the Texas mascot are the best in college. That's honestly disrespectful to Ralphie.
It is.
Bevo doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Neither does Uga or Mike the Tiger.
Right.
Let me know when one of those is moving around rather than just standing there.
Or taking the field.
Yeah, yeah. Like, let's run the Tiger. Now you've got my attention.
Yep.
Uga walks around.
Yeah, and
Uga sleeps. He doesn't even watch the games.
I mean, like, I'll take Uga over the other ones.
Yeah.
That is true. I do like Uga.
Remember, didn't Bevo try to gore
Uga went at Bevo. Yes.
Let's go.
Uga went at Bevo.
I'll tell you what, absolutely no mascot wants to smoke from Ralphie.
No, hell no. Especially give her another year or two, let her pack on some more weight, and she's not going to be a force to mess with. She already isn't.
Like, Air Force Falcon, that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, this year during the game, they didn't fly the Falcon.
Yep. Didn't see that when I was there.
Because the weather was too bad or something.
Yeah. Florida should get like a live gator or something. That'd be cool.
Damn. Can they run with it?
I don't know. Gators are, I don't think they're very quick. Well, I guess they can be quick. Depends when they last ate.
All I'm saying is, people are like, you can't run a live tiger. That's what they were saying about a buffalo back in the day. We pulled it off.
That is true. Ralphie's the best. Let's get to the people. Let's answer some questions. Who's first today? Angela. She is back. Does Ralphie?
Let's go.
Does she run out at the spring game?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
Ralphie ready for this prime effect? Ralphie going to be like, this is a lot more humans here this year.
Ralphie has seen sellouts before. The TCU game, I believe, this year was sold out. But I don't think she's ever seen a sellout for the spring game, so she'll be ready. What was I just about to say? Oh, you know what? You know who does try to run their mascot, and it actually makes it worse?
Who?
CSU.
Oh, yikes. That is big little brother energy again.
Yes, that's all they ever have.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, it's there's been times where they do it like after Ralphie runs at the Rocky Mountain Showdown, and it's just like, what are you guys doing?
That's embarrassing.
How do you not know how embarrassing this is?
Yikes, man. CSU. Be better. Connor. Has Dan Lanning replaced his OC yet?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know either. He has. Will Stein is going to be their offensive coordinator.
Okay. That's all we got.
That's all I can see right now. Is
good.
he's just going to be. I'll get some Will Stein information.
I think Lanning's overrated while we're at it.
Yeah. A lot of people like him as a recruiter, and I could see that. But on the field, I wasn't really impressed last year.
Me either. Also, like, I don't know.
They made some dumbass decisions in games.
Recruiting to Oregon is not hard.
No. Well, with the Nike money and the brand,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
The facilities there are absurd.
There were so many times last year, though. They went for it on, like, 4th and short or went for 2 and stuff, and it was just like, there's no need. Like, they were doing it because they were Oregon, basically. Yeah. Like, just play football.
I had a Madden playoff game the other day.
Yeah.
And I was down 14, like 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I scored. So I did like the whole analytics thing. You go for 2 because that increases your chances of winning. I had Jamar Chase wide open. Quarterback just misfired. Justin Herbert overrated. So then I'm down 8, right? I get the onside kick, go down and score, have to get the 2-point conversion. Don't get it again. I was like, I'm never I have to abandon analytics now.
Yeah. Madden, I think, seems out of the realm of analytics. That's beyond the...
That's probably true.
Madden is just a different breed, man. Kind of miss Madden. I haven't played it in a long time.
All right, we are not yet. We got to get to 200 likes. What are we doing here?
Yeah, 135. Come on. Big teasy.
Like this show if you think that Ralphie is better than Puddles.
There you go. Or like this show if you think Kenny Dillingham's overrated.
There we go. Let's go. I love
Big
this.
teasy. How is the view from the seats outside Prime's office? I see that being the VIP area since sideline is small. Is that the Touchdown Club?
No, that's the Crawford Club. That is the homies who brought the CU flag to the national championship game. That's like named after them. That area is nice.
It is nice. I see people up there on game days.
You are in the corner though, and like anyone, if you ever sat in the corner at a sporting event, it's not the best place to be.
No,
but the hospitality, is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to put like Snoop there when he comes to the game.
Right.
They have other luxury boxes that they could use, or they'll just have them down on the sideline. The sideline is not very roomy, but you could be like down in the end zone. There's a couple areas where you can have people. Also, like down in the north end zone is where a lot of people like when former players come, that's where they hang out.
Isn't that area that they're talking about? Isn't that where like the families of players go?
Yes, and I think that's what they were saying.
Oh, okay. Next question from Mary. Don't you feel like he would come, or Marie? Don't you feel like he would come home more for homecoming versus spring game? Oh, Lil Wayne. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what the move here is. Also, we've talked about it. Sadly, homecoming at Colorado or other Pac-12 schools not lit like it is at JSU or any HBCUs. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I hope Coach Prime tries to make homecoming more of a thing, just like we were talking about with the spring game. Like he has the power to make that type of stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think they just are going to try and keep the hype train rolling as much as you can. So the next opportunity they have to get a bunch of eyeballs and get a bunch of hype is the spring game, and I think he's going to pull out all the stops for it.
think you're convincing me more and more that this is going to be like the most hyped spring game of all time.
You know how like Duke does Midnight Madness, right?
Right.
I don't know if they still do that, but they used to do it. And like they would, just go all out. KU, same thing. Like they got the light show and the intros and the smoke and all that stuff. Like I think that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a whole spectacle.
Darren asks, which fans are closer to the field, Oklahoma State or Colorado? I mean, both are right on top of the
There's
field.
no way it could be closer than CU.
Yeah, CU is like right there.
Like you could pee on the field from the first row.
You could probably hear like offensive and defensive game plans if you're in the first row.
Totally. Yeah, I heard.
I like your pee analogy better though.
Like I heard some words for the first time in my life sitting near the CU sideline when I was a kid.
That's hilarious. Sean says Wayne's tour starting around then too. Not sure he can make it to the spring game. He'll be in Denver Cinco de Mayo though.
Damn, we gotta go. That would be sick.
Just tell him to bring the Cinco de Mayo party here.
Let's do it at the DNVR bar.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
DNVR bar.
Tell Weezy he's invited.
Big Teasy says, support the supporters. Any plans for giveaways, contest day /week before the game?
I don't know what that means.
I think he's asking if we're gonna do any like giveaway stuff for the spring game, lead up to it, or for the spring game.
Hadn't thought of it. No, I will.
There you go. Also, thank you for the super chat, Big Teasy. Lawrence with the question. Speaking of sons of former NFL players that are quarterbacks, did you see that Coach Lewis slid an offer to Dylan Raiola last week? He's the number one quarterback in the 24 class.
Also, what is that? Is there a coach?
That's what I'm trying to learn right now.
Okay.
I don't know.
The name doesn't pop out to me as the son of a former player or coach, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Dylan Raiola.
Okay, his father is Dominic Raiola. Oh, former Nebraska All-American center.
Gross. We got to get him out of there.
But played 14 years for the Detroit Lions.
Now I remember this. I remember all the Nebraska fans talking about. Is he actually committed there?
He is not committed yet.
Okay. I feel like I remember all the Nebraska fans saying, "Oh, they're going to get him because of his dad."
He's got 5. Dylan Raiola has 5 crystal balls right now. I mean, means nothing at this point.
I was going to say 5 different crystal balls to 5 different schools.
But no, 5 different crystal balls to 3 different schools. 1 to Ohio State, 2 to Nebraska, 2 to Georgia. Steve Wiltfong with 1 to Georgia just about a month ago.
Most recent, right?
Yep, most recent.
Oh, no.
There is a Nebraska one that came through yesterday, actually.
Interesting. Let's get in there. As long as he doesn't go to Nebraska, we're good.
So there you go. From Phoenix, too. So he's got a perfect composite score also.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get him.
Let's get him.
Oh, Matt Rule hired someone related to him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, college football is so funny.
It's wild, isn't it? We'll see. Don't count Coach Prime and the Buffs out.
Don't do it. All right. 47 more likes, 200.
One more question, though. Sport Geek, did you see where Tim Brewster's son from 24... Oh, yes. Meant to talk about this today.
That's Tim Brewster's son?
I don't know if it is or not.
Okay.
I know they have the same last name, but okay. I don't know. Sports Geek may be right. His name is Clint Brewster.
This was good. I'm glad they brought it up.
So he's an analyst and prospect evaluator for 247 Sports. He said, hearing some transfers have already made very strong impressions at Colorado. Jimmy Horn Jr., Shane Cokes, your guy.
My guy.
And then Yusuf Mugarbil, the interior offensive lineman from Florida. And then also, he capped off this tweet saying, they also believe Alabama transfer linebacker Demoy Kennedy has high draft pick capabilities when fully healthy. How about that?
Say that one more time.
Demoy Kennedy has high draft pick capabilities when fully healthy.
My guy.
Yep.
That is honestly Shador 1, Travis 2.
Mm-hmm.
If he's that guy, that's 3.
Yep.
In my opinion, that's what's going to end up happening. I've said it a million times. A dominant linebacker in college football is one of the ultimate weapons. And just having these guys who can fly around, make plays. You can leave him in like a hole, if you want to go cover one hole and have him cover the middle of the field. Like those types of things are on the table for you. If he's that guy, just watch this defense. Especially when you're taking away the edges with Cormani and Travis.
Right.
Then you have a guy manning the middle. Well, you won't believe how easy a guy like Shane Koch's job gets in that situation.
I was going to say, you got to mention Shane Koch's here because we talk about how the pass rush and the coverage kind of play hand in hand. If you have a guy emerging already from that transfer class on the defensive line, that's huge, man.
It's unbelievably huge. Also, if that's actually Tim Brewster's son,
I'm trying so hard to find out.
we can know it's good information.
Yes.
Nicholas said Levante Bentley will be more downhill. Out Demoy Kennedy to be used to cover more. I mean,
is his son confirmed?
That's wild.
Dropping a follow now.
That is wild. But definitely trust what he has to say.
Yep, for sure.
And man, that fires me up. I'm so excited about Demoy Kennedy. I'm also so excited about Shane Koch. I just hope Demoy is healthy for the start of the season.
Oh, I remember what I want to say. So Dre and I talked. Brian Howell put out a spring game, or like a spring roster. Last week, and they had Jeremiah Brown listed at edge.
James Houston 2.0.
Yeah, how about that?
That's interesting. They did like bringing him downhill a lot.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yep. He was at his best blitzing for sure. So.
God, I'm fired up.
Me too, man. We're in a bit of a lull with the off season, but football will be back before we know it, especially with spring practices.
The spring game is so far away.
We're still a little over a month away.
The way it's hyped, it feels like it's like a couple of weeks away.
I know. Imagine how it's going to be in April, though.
We just got to get to March.
March 19th is when practices start.
Let's go. I can't wait for that.
Almost there. Almost, guys.
Do we have any info on practices and access or anything like that yet?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, cool.
I was hearing we may get press conferences at some point for coordinators potentially, but I haven't seen that being confirmed at all. So I don't know. We'll see. They usually do that though, right? Like introduce the new coordinators. Did Tucker do that? Or Darrell?
I can't remember. You'd have to ask Henry on that one. I'm trying to think back. There was like a media day, which I remember doing some interviews with coordinators then.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like introductory press conferences for coordinators when I was covering the team day to day.
They got some pretty notable coordinators now, though. Wouldn't mind talking to them.
I would drop everything to talk to Sean Lewis.
Both.
Yeah.
Ask Charles Kelly about what makes him in terms of his recruiting chops.
True. I just nerd out over offense so much, and I just feel like Sean Lewis does too.
Yep. All right. That'll do it for today, guys. Fun show today. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.